Teacher, Mr. Z is back. Mr. Z has returned. Teacher replied, is this the same Dao King Song who dared to boast that his cooking ability was comparable to Xiaolu's and Xianfu? This is a big fresh fatty fish from the Tangdian River. Let's see what human delicacy you can prepare. How about it? What's wrong with you? Excuse me, come in. I'll make a great dish today. The boy replied, Master, what a big fish. Over 40 kilograms and he's still alive. How did you go with him? Mr. Z, these two people are confusing me. The man whispered, they are also unusual people, aren't they? Zai replied, ah, bad habits are taking over again, aren't they? Just behave normally and everything will go well. Hedi ha ha. They sat at the table and talked. I originally only took the question about Tangzi Pavilion as a joke, but I didn't expect that even a true devil was attracted. Only he was unlucky enough to run right into Mr. Z. But it didn't turn out to be much fun, just lucky that sometimes I stick my nose in. Zai asked. Mr. Yin had to get in the way too. After all, Dajin is where you and I live and breathe. He replied, it's natural, but then again, those guys from Yahuai Mountain are too slow to react. Jai, that reminded me. There is not only one true dragon in Dajin, but also Yahuai Mountain. I don't know how Tufin is now, and I don't know if the Y family has climbed the mountain. The child was running with a toy. Young master, don't run, you might fall. A girl was telling him, aha, how, you just want to catch me, don't you? He said. The girl caught the child. Stop it, young sir, it's your first day in class, don't leave a bad impression. Reading is not fun. Not fun at all. You, Yuanshan, Weiwei's son. The child was screaming and lashing out. I want my mommy, I want my daddy. What kind of person sends a 3-year-old child to school? I don't want to, I don't want to. The old man looked from the side and said, young master, the only intelligent child I have seen in my life, with a very strong soul. If you study hard, you can become the second Yingyun of Dishang. Young master, let's begin the lesson. Oh, the child didn't want to learn at all. How did Yuanshan behave today? How did Yuanshan behave today? The man asked. What did the teacher say? He praised the young master's wisdom and said that his guiding star was shining very brightly. Only, after all, the young master is still too young and can't sit still. Daddy, shouted the child, and his father greeted him. Son, Yuanshan, do you know why I sent you so early to study and write? Because I'm smart. Oh, you little grandpa, you're smart. You're not a yearling. You're really smart by nature. But you need to learn to write and read before you are 5 years old, because there is a place your dad wants to take you to. Before the age of 5. Asked the son, isn't that the end of next year? Your lordship, Yuanshan is still so young. The future of Yuanshang and the Y family is at stake, and it would be an understatement to say that this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Today, for the first time, I will reveal to you the secret of our Y family. You may still be young, but father knows you can understand me. You must not tell anyone about this, otherwise the fate of our Y family will be unpredictable. Understand? He said. Yes, my Y family has a piece of precious jade that used to be passed down from generation to generation. But something went wrong. It happened in Ningyin County. Yuansheng will remember 2 of our Y family's most important benefactors. One of them was the mysterious master who saved my life. A man with a low husky voice and amazing technique. But until now, we haven't been able to find out his identity. If we had the opportunity, we could pay him for his kindness. I remember that. Father, what about the other benefactor? The child asked. The second benefactor is the Immortal who pointed out the path of our Y family. He glanced at that jade pendant. That was the only time I saw Mr. Zai. And he was the one who revealed the immortal destiny of Yuhuai Mountain. The possibility of immortality on Yuhuai Mountain lies within these 20 years. And you and Sheng, are the hope of the Y family. Father, I have to go to Mount Yuhuai. Your father will go with you. If I can stay with you, that's fine. But if not, you'll have to rely on yourself. Oh, yeah, Daddy told me about the fruit of the immortal my first month after I was born. Where did they come from? The date tree in Mr. Zai's courtyard, which has rarely borne fruit in recent years, has a fiery red color and is known as fire dates. It is very difficult to get one of these, so the one you ate was obtained for your daddy from the great warrior Du. But since Dad knows it's in Ningyin, can't Dad get more? Yuan Sheng. There are many things in the world that money can't buy and that can't be obtained through martial arts. In short, all these fruits belong to Mr. Zai, and anyone who gets hold of them improperly will await retribution in the future. They continued talking. The date tree is under the care of a young man, and that man is Zhou's son. He had played with Mr. Zai at an early age and was far from being an ordinary child. Oh, surprisingly, Zhiwei's youngest son has actually changed. And instead of yesterday's mischief, he is now studying hard, thought his teacher. The boy sat under a tree and pondered. Hey, it's been almost 2 years and I haven't gotten a single fruit. How greedy you are. Dad and Mom went to Kangai. You're so greedy. Dad and Mom went to Anju together, but I couldn't go. Who will clean this yard and take care of you, big date tree, if I go? It's so hard for me and you can't even give me some dates to comfort me. Fine, big date tree. You're so stale, or rather wooden. Hey, little Foxy, you're biased. You're so biased. The guy asked, Little Foxy, why haven't you come to me all these years? I missed you. The dates fell off the tree. No, I can't eat that. You have to eat it. It's been years since you came back. This one date won't do me any good, so eat them quickly. These dates won't taste as good if you save them for later. Oh, see, I'm eating too. So you eat them too. Yummy. Foxy, your honey feels so good to touch. I wonder when will Mr. Z come back? The boy thought. He's been gone for years. Fate has appeared. Since we've known each other for so long, I would like to give you another gift. When you enter the path of cultivation, you will no longer be an ignorant beast. You may have nothing in life, but you must have a name. If you don't mind, from now on, you will be called Foxy. What's wrong, Foxy? Did you choke on a date? Do you want some water? Drink some water, said the boy, to soothe your throat. Huion, what's wrong, Foxy? What? Can you talk? Can you talk? I was talking. I'm asking you. Are you following my speech? Huion, Master. Yes, your name is Huion. It's the name Master Zai gave you. Huion, your name is Huion. No, my name is Yinkson. And you're Huion. Forget it. I'll teach you how to speak. Teach me to speak. Teach you to speak. 2 years later. What is the reason? What is the reason for this gentleman's visit? Jai asked the man. I, Juan, have come to meet the head of the family. And here is the sign. Head of house. Let's go. Mr. Zai, it's really you. After all these years, it's nice that the Y family still remembers me. How dare I forget your kindness? You Shang, it's a pleasure to meet Mr. Zhu. Well, let's sit down and have a little talk. A few years ago, during my travels, I came across the affairs of the family. Now that the time is getting closer, I came by to take a look. Mr. Zai, in your opinion, how much hope do you think Yuan Sheng has of making it to the Immortal Guru? With a spiritual power like your son's, of course he will not be refused help, but it will be a bit difficult for you to go up there together. I wonder, do you like my little Yuan Sheng? Head of the family, you don't want to think about it. Yuan Sheng is destined to go to Yuhuai Mountain, so even if you don't want to, you can come to see him. Don't think about it. Yuan Sheng is destined to go to Yuhuai Mountain, so even if I liked him, I wouldn't be tempted to take him on as a disciple. It would be too much trouble. It's a pity Mr. Zhu doesn't take on apprentices. If I can't accompany Yuan Sheng to the mountain, won't my boy be left alone? I have an old acquaintance on Mount Yuhuai, so the head of the family might as well make it clear to Crane when the time comes. It's just as you said. I am Tufan of Yuhuai Mountain. My bad. Tell them there's a man named Zai who knows the immortal Tufan. I think that should help. Thank you, Mr. Zai. Little Yuan Sheng, do you want to go to Yuhuai Mountain? Do you want to attain immortality? Me? Yes, I'm asking you specifically. Do you want to cultivate immortality? Your parents probably told you that you should prepare for it. What about yourself? Mr. Zhu, are all immortals like you? Of course there are some like me, but they are very few. Are you sure you won't take me on as your apprentice? Everyone says I'm so smart. I won't. I'm still a little afraid of the Immortal Mountain, but I still want to go there. I know that mortals very rarely get such an opportunity, perhaps even once in a lifetime, and I will definitely regret it if I don't take it. Besides, if I don't go, more than a year of studying will go to waste, and I don't want that. Heh, wonderful. By the way, Mr. Zai, is Yuhuai Mountain big? I don't know exactly, so I hope you'll tell me when you get there. Can my dad go too? That shouldn't be a problem. What about my mom and Zio Kiwi? Mr. Zhu, is this for Yue Shen? No, it's for you. When you come to Yuhuai Mountain, if you see Immortal Q, give this directly to him. Ask him to fold the wings of the paper crane like this, and then spread them apart like this. Got it. If you can't find it yourself, you can find it in your place. If you can't find it yourself, you can spread its wings and it will go to whoever it needs to go to. Sure, got it. Also, give me a message for little Yue Sheng. He said he wants to be immortal like me, and I took him seriously. Therefore, this can be considered a deal. Don't let him forget about it. Of course, Y will definitely pass this message to Yue Sheng and urge him to do so. Then I'm leaving. You don't have to see me off. Why don't you let Y send you too? Did you see Mr. Zhu leave? I didn't. He was gone when I looked up. Maybe he flew away. It's been a long time since I've been back home. I even miss it. I wonder what it's like there now. Isn't my house covered in centimeter dust? Is my date tree? I'm just going to take a little taste. It'll be too much if they let it all out. Even better than the old dates. Very good. Quiet and unhurried. Demonic Kai can be considered a successful practice, but it's a bit of a shame you're not blooming this year. When I got up this morning and smelled it, I was surprised. All of a sudden it had bloomed. Let's go quickly to Duan Zio's house. Duan Zio. Ah, was the door open? Isn't this what I thought it was? I don't know what it is. When did you come back? You'll stay longer this time. By the way, Hu Yuni can talk. I was so shocked at first. You say Master Tsu is back. Master Tsu is back. Master Tsu is back. I should go meet Master No. No, I'll scare people to death if I go down to the mountain in the city. God won't let me pass. By the way, did Master Tsu mention me? So Master didn't mention me. I never thought a fearsome spiritual tiger could have such a side. I haven't seen you in years. How are you, Lu Shanzun? Lu Shanzun. Pay my respects to you, Master, please. You don't need to be so polite. Have I taught you anything? I'm a little uncomfortable. How can you say you have taught me nothing when you have been so kind and instructive? Now that my practice has improved and my spiritual foundation has become clearer and more enlightened, I cannot disrespect you. In that case, while I'm still in the mood, I'll give you a lecture on the essence of demon cultivation today. Little fox, you too. Let's go out and find a suitable place. Is your cave too dark or is it still not spacious enough? Is Master saying that this cave reflects my spiritual state? To come out of a dark cave and with an open soul. This ferocious spiritual tiger does have outstanding abilities and can rightfully be considered an exceptionally good demon. But as you realize, he might not be very demonic among demonic beings. You are mountain animals endowed with enlightened wisdom, spiritual charm. Therefore, you should be familiar with the agony of finding the path. Demon cultivators take the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to refine their form, shape their body. Demonic energy, transforming spiritual imbues, giving birth to divine powers and striving for Taoist virtue. Demonic cultivators prioritize strength, envy, and are jealous of the advantage of the human body, not knowing that the path to the soul is not limited by birth, and the ability to cultivate the soul is born in the ordinary way. By purifying and refining your demon body, your mind, your spirit, comprehend the Dharma itself. That demonic path can also become the immortal path. Is the sympathy of heaven and demon man a chance for breakthrough? Well, that is karma, and that is dharma. There is a beginning and an end, that's all. I don't want to be struck by the lightning they attract. Practice well and rely on yourself. Don't wait to be given freedom. I also forbid you from freely claiming to be your teacher. Students obey the instructions of the teacher. Gar yu hoi. Okay, you guys stay here. It's just me and Yuan Sheng, the head of the family. If things don't work out, go back to the study area. Teacher, you're crank gaji. Okay, you guys stay here. It's just me and Yuan Sheng, the head of the family. If things don't work out, come back. We'll wait here for 2 months. With the support of an immortal and so many people, my war family will never be defeated. The mountains are harsh, so please be careful. We will go. Take care, head of the family. Young master, take care. Yuan Sheng, are you afraid? I'm a little scared, but I'm fine with Dad. Yeah, good boy. An hour later. Daddy, look, there's a giraffe. I wonder if it's the same one. Daddy, I think it's flying away. It's okay, it's okay. Yuan Sheng, are you hungry? Daddy brought some pastries. Let's take a break. Are you lost in the mountains and can't get out? I happen to be lost on this mountain too. Why don't we go out together? Maybe this man is a reincarnated immortal crane. Yuan Sheng, show me the jade pendant around your neck. This jade pendant. I wonder if I can get your last names. In answer to the immortal's question. My name is YY, next to me is my son. My name is Y Yuan Sheng, the Y family. That was a long time ago. If you could find your way here, someone must have guided you. But it doesn't matter. The Y family's kindness must always be repaid. Y Yuan Sheng is a good name. Then follow me to Yuhui Mountain. As for you, I will help you leave these mountains. Thank you for sheltering my son. But since Yuan Sheng is so young, can I accompany him to the mountain? Immortal Aunt, please don't send Dad away. I'm afraid. Afraid of what? There's something else I'd like to tell you. One day I met a gentleman. He told me that if I couldn't enter the mountain, I should tell the crane guarding the mountain that there is a family acquaintance who knows Immortal Tufin. He knows Immortal Tufin. Who is this person? That lord doesn't like people freely revealing information about him. If it wasn't his fault, I wouldn't have killed him. This master doesn't like people freely revealing information about him. That's why he allowed him to tell the immortal that his last name was Jai. He said that would be enough for Immortal Tufin to understand. Well then, I'll pass on your words. Wait for my news. This bag is empty. Where's the paper crane? I saw it in the mountains. What do we do now? Oh, isn't that Dad's paper crane? This paper bird has no fluctuating magic power, but it can flap its wings, fly by itself. Has she given up her spirit? Yanchu's house. Are you saying that on your way back to Dajane, you met an evil devil and were attacked? That's right. That day, we didn't hesitate to use our magic powers to soar into the sky and fly away in the wind. What's strange is that when the evil devil was in front of Dajgane's territory, he didn't follow us. I don't know what he was afraid of. It's like he was afraid to cause any kind of disturbance. Maybe something was wrong in Dajgane. I heard that an expert from Juju had fought before, and it was said that the Dragon Emperor in the Tongtian River was also present. Together with another expert, he was able to restrain the true devil and chase him away from the Eastern Cloud Continent. Tianying has an unpredictable temperament, so he decided to reach out and bring him closer. Tianyin has an unpredictable temperament, and he decided to reach out and bring him to us. And who is the other one? He is also a true dragon. Uncle, what does Uncle Pei's jade token say? Is it the exact information provided by Tanjai Pavilion? Tanjai has been counting for a long time and has gotten nowhere. Therefore, they intend to work together to conduct another count, which will not be completed soon. In this matter, not everything is clear yet. Therefore, please do not spread the information so that it will not affect others. Everyone is free to go. Yes, who possesses such exquisite paper bird magic? No fluctuations in magic and aura. Using an object to transmit thoughts. It's Mr. Jai's paper crane. I'm going to talk to my uncle. The other mysterious practitioner who struck at Bing Ju's place could very well be him. The paper crane looks very ordinary. Should I open it up and take a look? Is it really alive? Uncle, has this paper become a spirit? Whether it is or not, it's a special spirit technique and must be the master's personal technique. This paper crane has such a spiritual nature that if you continue to heed the long teachings with your aura, one day you can really achieve great success. Can a piece of paper become a spirit? Even if you don't use it, can a piece of paper become a spirit? Even rocks become spirits, so why can't paper? Aunt Crane, what about my father? Uncle, I'll go get Wai myself. Okay, go ahead. The House of Immortals is still the House of Immortals and it's awesome. Mr. Y, I've been practicing for almost 200 years, but I've never dared to take on a student. When I saw Yuan Sheng, I decided to take him on as a disciple. I wonder if you'd be willing. Yes, of course I agree. Then I'll be counting on you most likely. The immortal that Mr. Zai knows should be capable, so it's good that he's the one who took Yuan Sheng as his disciple. Remember, Yuan Sheng, try not to disturb other immortals. If you get lost, you can shout to Sister Deasu Crane to come and rescue you. Understand, Master. Master Y is the father of Yuan Sheng. You can also practice the immortality minor practice method, but you have already been immersed in the mortal world for decades, and it will be difficult for you to achieve great accomplishments. Thank you, Immortal. It is a great blessing to be here with my son during his training. Master, when are you going to visit Mr. Za? Now that your teacher has settled you and your father, I will gladly go to Ningnan County. If I didn't settle you first, how would your teacher answer to Mr. Zai when he asked a question? By the way, Master, when can I go to see my mom? You just climbed the mountain and you're already thinking about when you can go out. At least wait until you've laid the foundations for cultivation. But you must also remember that on this mountain, time flows fleetingly. Sooner or later, your mom will die of old age, sickness, and disease, and you'll look up to the Wise family. No, I won't. I may look up to the Wise family in the future, but my mom will be in my thoughts. I will visit her when she is sick, and I will support her in her old age, and my nanny, and Saio Kiwi. This is normal, but those who are too superficially and deeply involved in the mortal world can easily lose their way. But before that, Mr. Zai talked a lot about his views on spiritual practice, and he also agreed with my thoughts on the matter. What exactly did Mr. Zhu say? How can this child talk to his immortal teacher like that? Mr. Zai said that if one goes off the path because of the mortal world, then one can say that he is not fit to cultivate immortality, and that it is more suitable for him to continue living in the mortal world. How can one test oneself without even entering the mortal world? How can one stick to one's path if one fears even that? There are no gods under this sky who fear freedom. In just a few words, the truth of Ku Zhen Guan and even Ku Zhen Zi is revealed. My disciple will have much success in the future. Tao's path is simple, and Mr. Z is right, but I still believe that one must first lay the foundation. Now it seems that spirituality is a bit overrated. Please come in. Q Feng's Gara Yohui accepted the invitation and came to visit Mr. Zai. Mr. Q, there's no need to be so polite. You and I are soulmates, so if you don't mind, please take a seat at the stone table. This is the magnificent rainy spring tea from Chun Hui Mansion. Thank you very much. Is Mr. Zhu good at Go? I wasn't interested in it before, but you could say I had to take up Go, and now I even like it. I wonder why Mr. Zhu invited me here. Does it have something to do with the rumors about Tang Zai's pavilion? Mr. Q doesn't need to guess. I can definitely say whether this rumor is true or not, but it could have a significant impact. Not long ago, a real devil appeared and I accidentally stumbled upon him, so I teamed up with the old dragon to make him swear an oath and then disappear from Dajin. So it really was him. But the reason I've invited you here is to ask for a modest request. Mr. Zhu, please speak. Kara Yui still has some heritage, and it is rumored that the decree of Gore was indeed true, and could identify the true god of the mountain. The only thing is, no one in Yuhui Mountain can touch the edict, so they can only suppress the entrance. This Zai was studying the way to preserve the edicts and heard an old dragon say that Yuhui Mountain has a true mountain protection seal talisman. I would like to take a look at it. Are there any conditions under which this is possible? Mr. Q, don't misunderstand. I understand very well that the rescue order is very important to Yuhui Mountain. Right now, while there are no bystanders around, I'm just trying to ask a question alone with an old friend. Then I'll take the liberty to ask. What is the relationship between Mr. Zhu and the true dragon giant in him? I heard from my master that Yuhui Mountain doesn't have a good relationship with this true dragon. When Ancestor Zhu insulted him, he decided to take revenge in the form of a dragon. That day was a disaster for Yuhui Mountain. Subsequently, a special anti-dragon formation was set up on Yuhui Mountain to protect it from the true dragon. I'm kind of a close friend of Mr. Yin's. I met him by chance, and he comes to visit me sometimes. And he sits in the seat where he stands up straight. And he sits where you're sitting right now. But please don't worry, Mr. Zhu. Although Mr. Yin is sometimes quite picky and doesn't look kindly on Yuhui Mountain, he told me himself that this matter has long been resolved. Is that true, Mr. Zhu? Mr. Yin, I wouldn't lie to you. Then it's true. Thank you very much, Mr. Zhu. As for Mr. Zhu's desire to see the rescue order, I can't decide that alone. But I think you shouldn't get your hopes up too high. After all, there hasn't been such a precedent yet. Anyway, thank you for at least recognizing at the expense of this matter. Have some tea. Tang Zai Pavilion's prediction poured out. Let Yin be a little more circumspect. With Yuhui Mountain, the situation is the same. It's different. On the other hand, if we can seize this opportunity, perhaps Yuhui Mountain will become world famous. The wrong path can cause a huge storm. I wonder how your Immortal Mountain feels about this matter. Mr. Zai, I wonder how you decided to leave your homeland and venture as far as the eastern lands of the country. I understand that you wish to return to your homeland. I understand that you are not here to catch the wind and chase the shadows and the great Taoist destiny of serenity. But inevitably, people from the outside world will think about it. Even I, Yuhui Mountain, am not immune to such thoughts. I am truly here for the great Taoist destiny of serenity. Rumor has it that according to the prediction of Pavilion Head Tanzai, the great Daiji destiny is now in full dawn and there are endless Taoist destinies hidden within it. It seems to me that the prediction made by Tanzai Pavilion has a lot to do with Mr. Zai, more than with Yuhui Mountain. This mountain is not good enough for something like that. I may be the only person in the world who knows the truth about Daji's so-called great destiny. In fact, I am not a foreigner and my homeland is Daji. As to why I am so ignorant, maybe it's laziness, maybe it's because I didn't have this interest before, or maybe it's just a deep dream. I woke up and the world was turned upside down for me. Monks like you and me are human after all. And as we get older we sometimes get a little sentimental. You're probably laughing about it right now. This Taoist saint is immortal. I've been practicing for almost 200 years, but I've never had this strange and frightening sentimentality. Oh, come on, come on. I wonder what it is that Mr. Za is feeling. I don't know what those feelings are. Oh, no. I wonder what Mr. Za's feelings are. Yuhui Mountain, what is the reason for you ringing the bell and calling us here? Jai Yuan Zai, are we facing some kind of enemy? There have been several important events recently, all related to Mount Yuhui, so I have no choice but to disturb you. It all started with the rumors about Tang Zai's pavilion. What? Is it true that the true dragon is no longer bothered by cases? Who is this Mr. Zai? How could a true immortal be hiding in our territory? And most importantly, can we allow a glimpse of the rescue order? After all, this is the most important treasure of Yuhui Mountain. How can we show it to someone so easily? That's right, even if he is a true immortal, we can't do it so easily. It would be a mistake. Since Mr. Zai is well versed in the method of saving orders, he might know how to use the Yuhui Mountain's saving order if he can teach us. Nonsense. Orders aren't transmitted that easily, and even if he knows, why do we need to do it? In your opinion, Comrade Dao's is a figure of the level of a true immortal, other than returning to his true nature. What is so special about him? Going back to Comrade Taoist friend Ziyuan, I will say that I experienced something similar today myself. I was talking to Mr. Zhu about my immortality cultivation experience and was sentimentally reminiscing about the past 1 year when Mr. Zhu also recalled his past. At that time, it seemed to me that the little courtyard had gone beyond the heavens and earth, traveling through the universe, and that everything in the heavens and earth was just around the corner. Changes in the great path are like the vicissitudes of fate. Further on, I was afraid to watch her. Not good. We had to work together to break the link to the outside world. Does the power of true immortals inspire such respect and fear? Changes on the great path, vicissitudes of fate. Could it be Mr. Zip's unintentional feelings about the changes in the world that led to such a vision? A manifestation of his inner state of mind? No, indeed, true immortals are hard to describe, but that doesn't mean I haven't seen it before. But this Xeniver-san is truly unbelievable. Just like Taoist immortals are not subject to speculation, and the generation of true immortals is not without its merits. That's right, since Mr. Zai has a good impression of Yuhui Mountain, he can also mediate the reconciliation of old grudges with the true dragon, which is beyond satisfying. Indeed, although the mountain talisman can't be shown to anyone, but you can send Mr. Zai some conclusions from the study of Mount Yuhui about the talisman salvation order. As expected, Mount Yuhui is holding warily against me. How can I take Yui Mountain's most precious treasure so easily? However, these 3 scrolls were even better than I had anticipated. Although they looked a bit vague and difficult to understand, they can't hide the subtleties. It seems that there is still a big difference between the present rescue order method and mine, which I used to take for granted. If I were to look at the mountain rescue decrees right now, perhaps I wouldn't be able to take advantage of the situation and would miss my opportunity. This scroll, on the other hand, is a treasure for quickly perfecting cultivation based on just a few lines and a few words to convey Tao teaching. It really is so skillful. Good morning, Mr. Zai. You seem to be in a good mood. Good morning. Not bad. Mr. Tsu, are your fountains ready? Good, thank you very much, Uncle Sun. Zio Liu, are you sighing so heavily? What happened? Those doctors who are treating my mother for a cold don't look very skillful, and Dr. Tong hasn't returned, so I'm worried. Dr. Tong isn't back yet. He's been gone for over a month, right? That's right. I wonder where Dr. Tong went. I heard they went to Dayuan County last month and haven't come back yet. Dayuan County. Guide him to the punctuation point. Block his Senzio, and don't let his Zai stagnate. I'm going to use needles. Really, even if you're a miracle doctor, you can't escape old age, sickness, and death. Thank you for the food. Dr. Tsu is an unsophisticated healer whom I truly admire. Worth a look in person. The Earth Spirit and the Day Watch have arrived. And when virtue is strong, ghosts and gods admire it when it is true. Oh, Master, once, Mr. Zin gave me a favor, so I heard about it and came to see if there was anything I could do to help. Unfortunately, Sir came late. Uncle had already left, so I can't help him. I can't. The Master came late. Uncle has already left, so the Master doesn't need to bother. There are more than enough people. We appreciate your kindness, but if you want, you can pay your respects after the funeral hall is prepared. I dare not pay my respects after the funeral parlor has been prepared. All right, then I'll leave you alone. May I ask who you are and why you are here? My last name is Zai, and I am a good acquaintance of Dr. Jin. I have a sudden feeling that his lifespan is cut short, so I would like to visit him. That's power. Jinju's life has been extinguished. I wonder what the Immortal wants from him. We should send him to the underworld. Don't worry, I'm not an evil person. I'll just say a few words. You can accompany me. Nod. Since Immortal wants to meet Jinju, we won't make it difficult for him. It is our duty to enter first and explain to Jinju what happened after his death. That's the right thing to do, so please tell me when it's appropriate. Jinju, your days in this world are numbered. We have come to show you the way. Who are you, messengers of the underworld? We are the Day Watch, the suburban god of Desang Prefecture. I am followed by 2 guardians of souls and an attendant of the Zen umbrella. I was ordered to come here for you, and now that your family's funeral is over, it is time for me to escort you on your way. You are not allowed to touch your relatives or become attached to your old body in places. You can only go home and visit your relatives after 7 days. I understand. Thank you for telling me. By the way, Mr. Jin, I wonder if you've met an immortal in your lifetime. Immortal? There's an immortal outside who wants to see you. He says he's an old acquaintance of yours from when you were alive. That's why we let you meet him. The soul is as beautiful as it was then as a living person, and it doesn't have much of a ghostly aura. The rarest thing is that it has a spiritual rhythm inside, and it speaks with the feeling of a human god, which is rare in the world. Dr. Jin, we meet again. You are blurred vision. You are a master who is blind but can see the light. You are an immortal. Dr. Jin has a good memory. You spent your life practicing medicine and saving people, and at the end of your life, you have an earth spirit to watch over your home and a few messengers who have come to see you off. Worthy among mortals indeed. I think the underworld has already documented a great place for you, don't you? A great physician like Mr. Jin usually first rests in peace in the underworld and receives offerings from his descendants. After sealing his soul, he is trained in the ghost purification method, and if there is a vacancy in 24 Division, it is likely that he will be promoted. Yes, thank you for the information. Dr. Jin, who rules the underworld, can look after your children and grandchildren, as well as ensure the longevity of the ghost body. Besides, with your virtue, the villagers can build a temple for you in the future so you can become a free god. Except, your ghost body compacts your own pure Jin, and it seems to me that there is another way out. If with the help of a righteous spirit Shui Zhen who has accumulated strong incense and has a high level of moral virtue, the ghost body can be transformed from Jin to Yang. At this time, they will not be burned by the light of the heavens and will not be restrained by cold. They will be able to practice the true method and cultivate the spiritual path, and they will have a true body. Is the immortal talking about the god realm wandering? A spirit wandering through the realm. Rumor has it that there is a deity who can travel to the 8 corners of the earth without being bound to it, much less being burdened and changing dynasties. He will be able to enjoy the incense of the temple. He will be worshipped by mortals, and over the years his powers will become unlimited. The spirit of the earth is very perceptive, but the wandering god is so great that it is impossible to achieve such a thing with Dr. Kingy's current capability. That's right, those who are capable of becoming a wandering god realm must be blessed by heaven and earth, and that is not an easy thing to accomplish. However, in the future, I hope that this will be the case. The earth spirit was right. It was rumored that in order to become a wandering god, one must obtain the blessing of heaven and earth, which wasn't impossible. The most difficult is the first step, which is to transform yin and yang with the power of Shuijin. The amount of incense and wishes needed for this is incalculable, and few deities are willing to contribute because of fear. Fortunately, I can at least please the two main water gods. I think Dr. Kingy heard our words. This is a chance to reach the status of a wandering god realm. Although there's a chance of failure, it's worth a try. Even if it fails, I will make sure that your ghost body is safe. If you agree, I'll go to the underworld of Desen Palace and explain the situation. Of course, if Dr. Kingy is happy with the world order and just wants to conveniently train his descendants to enjoy the offerings, that's fine too. Mr. Kingy, such an offer should not be refused. If you have any doubts at all, you can decide when you go to the underworld where the city god will be present, and you will find out if it is true or not. If there is even the slightest chance that it is true, it is a chance that will bring all the gods and demons of the entire world to envy. I thank you for your kindness, but can I give you an answer when I get to the underworld? It seems I was too hasty. Then I would like to ask the Earth Spirit to accompany Dr. Kingy throughout the process and explain the importance of this matter to him. I'll leave first. I'll see you in the underworld of Deseng Palace. Where is the Immortal going now? Naturally, to go ask the chief water deity for help so that when the time comes, there will be no need to urgently ask for help. What, is Mr. Tsu here? Looking for Anjali? Answering the Dragon Emperor, Immortal Master Zai said that he came to see the river goddess. Wow, he didn't come to see me. You follow Anjali. I'll go out and get Mr. Tsu. Yes, Mr. Tsu is actually trying to save the sealed wandering god. Interesting. The old man has never seen such a thing in his life. Mr. Yin, rescue is a strong word. I'm just trying to understand if the way of the wandering god is possible. It's almost the same thing, isn't it? Let's go, now. We have to find the fighters. You're more excited than I am. The main hall is just ahead. Please, the first greatest god and the second greatest god Daijin are really here. What's the matter? The Dragon Emperor is also here in person. So the rumors about the wandering god are true. Zenzju, during your lifetime, you were one of the great benefactors of Dezheng Prefecture and have not committed any transgressions. Having practiced medicine for over 80 years, you have a life expectancy of 120 years and are blessed to be able to give shelter to 6 generations of children. The Immortal now feels the body of your life and sees that you are rich in pure spiritual energy. He wants to enlighten you so that you can practice the path of the wandering god. Do you desire this? I know this opportunity comes once in a lifetime. But I just want to ask Immortal Master Jai, why did he choose me? Although I've saved many people, I guess my body and soul are a bit special, but I'm sure with Immortal's ability, you can find better ones. And how will I be able to repay the Immortal? Dr. Jai, don't belittle yourself like that. I don't even know if I can still find a soul like yours. Dr. Jai, what's your reason for practicing medicine all your life? Is that really worth asking? Of course, it's to heal and save lives. The aura of body and soul does not waver, indicating that the answer comes entirely from the heart. Treating patients and saving lives is as obvious to him as eating and drinking. I hope that Dr. Jai, who has embarked on the path of divine cultivation, will still be able to help in any way he can. But not hundreds of people, but thousands or even 2. These are the people of the entire world, dead beings, sentient beings, and ordinary people. But how? Although the path of the wandering god is not attained overnight, it is truly divine and extraordinary, and cannot be mastered by those who are not godly and exalted. How many people do you think there are in the world who are like you? Have I seen only one of you so far? In heaven and earth everything has a spirit, and all things have feelings. I hope that if you enter the path of divine cultivation, you will still be able to provide assistance to all sentient beings and spiritual beings. Those who can follow the path of the wandering god are too few, and the path may not be easy. Just as there are very few people who can follow the path of immortal cultivators. Is Qin Zaizhu willing to become a god for the sake of ordinary people? Qin Zaizhu doesn't dare to claim that he will necessarily fulfill the high expectations of an immortal, but it's a path I'm willing to take. Master Qin Sen has impeccable virtue. How did Mr. Qin's ghostly aura dissipate and his vitality overflow? Is this already the beginning of the method? I can't figure it out. I would like to take a seat in the Ding department itself for a while. Immortals, do as you please. Salvation. Pure Qin begins to circulate, and the ghostly body has reached the threshold of the yin body. Salvation order. Let's go. The light of the heavens does not burn, and the cold of the underworld does not move. The real body can be transformed, but it also has a real body. How can all this mysterious yellow kin be the light of faith and virtue? Can someone really crack the power of faith and virtue? Could it be that true immortals can do such things and I don't know about it? Or, the earth has no limits, the heavens have no limits, the spiritual path is self-generated, the divine path is self-knowing. The ability to harness the power of heaven and earth and participate in creation is something that only exists in legends, just like the gods of this realm. The summoning spirit of the realm is complete. Oh, that child. His airways are blocked, his blood doesn't flow evenly. He lacks exercise, just as he did when he was a child. He never listened to me. Dad, Janer, your older brother died early. Now the family depends on you. This is a pharmacy, Anran. Try to pass it on as much as possible. If there are no children left in the family who want to study medicine, so be it. All right, Papa. Mr. Ken, would you like to spend a little more time with your family? No, the children and grandchildren have their own blessings, and I can't stay here forever. Then let's go. Next day. Wow, it's Tofu. Could it be that father really came last night? Brother, come and see. This is the first time Dao Kin sees this view of the rising sun against the clouds, right? Not really. I've often gone to the mountains for medicine. I've visited some peaks a few times, and I've seen similar scenery. Of course, if the Dragon Emperor talks about me standing on a cloud and watching the sunrise, it would truly be a first time. Although there is no true teaching for the beneficent spirit of realms and Xenascent realms, however, true teachings have always started from somewhere. That beginning can be found in the past, not necessarily in the present. The scenery on Cloud Hill is beautiful, and the aura is very natural. So let us nurture your heart of Tao here. Well, we have come a long way and it is time to say goodbye. Taoist Jixuan and his disciple Kiwan are good people. When you combine the Taoist method with astrology and adopt one of them, you can begin to understand the way of the gods. Thank you, Mr. Zai. May I ask, is anyone home? There's someone there. I'd like to become a Taoist monk at Yunjin Temple. Can you accept me? Old man, aren't you too old to become a Taoist priest? What? As they say, if you haven't practiced martial arts in your youth, it's time to go to the mountains to train. His appearance is blurry and indistinct. I'm afraid it's not immortal again. Old man, do you know Mr. Zhu? I, Qin Zaizhu, have heard the words of Mr. Zhu and Mr. Jian and have come here to practice. So I was wondering if you can accept me. What? Are you divine Dr. Qin? His appearance has changed a lot although I escaped in the last encounter, but avoiding forever won't work. I guess I have to go to Chunhui Mansion anyway. Mr. Zhu, you're back. What's the matter? Mr. Zhu, are you awake? You know about your father's request for you to go to Chunhui Mansion, right? Yes. In that case, you should prepare tonight, and tomorrow, say goodbye to your teacher and classmates, and let's hit the road. I can also take Hyan with me. What? Great. Oh, Mr. Zhu, aren't we going to the ferry? Why are we going to the mountain? There's a pond on that mountain. I'll see if there are any fish. Mr. Zhu, can there be fish here? Why do I think it's more like a big snake or something? Oh, there really are fish here. Let's go. Today we'll have fresh fish soup. Be careful, sit still. Let's swim. Ho ho. Mr. Zhu, where is the sword that was in your hand just a while ago? It's over there. There it is. Mr. Zhu, where is the sword that was in your hand just a little while ago? Where did it disappear to? A long sword can't fit in such a small bag, and it's not the right shape. Are you talking about the sword of the green vine? That sword doesn't want to show itself to people easily, so it's hidden in an invisible place. Yes, this beautiful sword, it seems so energetic. I understand. When I saw it, I knew it was the perfect weapon. Boatman, stop the boat. We'll rest here for the night and set sail again tomorrow. Hey, stop here. There have been some interesting incidents on this section of the river. I would like to stay here for one night as I did at that time. So I'd like to ask the boatman to make it easier for me. All right, you pay, it's up to you. Do whatever you want. Smart people, that's a problem. Is it possible that there are real water lords? What's wrong, boatman? Mr. Z, there may be some unclean creatures by the river, but don't be afraid. We boatmen have our own ways of dealing with things. Can I just ask the master for some alcohol? 1,000 days of spring. All right, boatman, here you go. We're not hurting you. You don't offend us. This little glass of wine is a token of respect. Lord of the water, leave quickly. Unfortunately for the boatman, he certainly wouldn't expect to find any alcohol-hungry fish in there. The better the wine you give him, the more likely he is to stay. It certainly works. By the way, boatman, would you like to taste the fish soup I made? With your physique, I think half a bowl will suffice. With my build, half a bowl. Is this fish soup poisonous? Well, it looks like the silver fish really dissolved in the soup. Here, boatman, this fish is a great fortifying agent, and all its healing power is in the soup, which is very healthy. Thank you very much. It's delicious. Thank you very much, Mr. Zhu. Go back to your boat and get some sleep, or meditate in your boat. Just don't fall in the water. Ah, okay. Mr. Zoo, what's wrong with it? It just strengthens the body too much. Well, let's 4 of us eat this soup. Ah, good. Nice. This soup smells so good. I've been wanting to try it for a long time. Hey, Mr. Zoo, did you say the 4 of us? Here, try the fish soup I made. Mr. Zoo, didn't you tell the boatman that he can only drink half a bowl? There's a big difference between you and him. Don't worry, I won't drink. Is it good? Mr. Zoo is such a good cook. Better than my mom. Mr. Zoo, there's a monster in the water. Take it away. It's just an ordinary enlightened spiritual fish. In Dajin terms, you're a forest dweller, much stronger than she is. I haven't seen you in years, but you haven't grown up yet. I can't say you haven't grown up. I haven't seen you in years, but you are still so active on this stretch of the river. Do you continue to do good deeds? Wow, that's a big fish. There's no hostility in his body. There's a vague flicker of the power of desire. So I think the family has fulfilled its promise. You should also try the silverfish soup from me. Hey, you haven't processed the crossbone yet. That one's so cold. How are you living? Mr. Zoo said you are virtuous and good. Have you saved many people? Have you ever seen the Lord of Water? It's a water ghost. How about this one? You follow this canoe and together go to the section of the Chunmu River near Chunhui Palace. I can guarantee that the river gods won't kick you out of there. In the future, you'll study at Huiyan Academy, Chunhui Prefecture. And whenever you have a break, you will go to a secluded corner of the river to learn from this big fish. Me, yes, those with refined minds are good at everything. So let the big fish help you on your journey. We've arrived at Chunhui, sir. Do you need a boat? Layer meat pie first. I'll send you to the academy. Then I'll find an inn where you can stay. I'll be back to Ninian County in a couple days. Chef, 2 meat puff pies. Thank you. Mr. Kai, is everything going according to plan? Let it go. Anyway, there's no reason not to look at something so interesting. So let's go. Big fish, you in here? There you are. Mr. Tso bought me some delicious food today, so I brought it to you. For a glutton like Uni, that's rare. I wonder if you could give me a taste of these goodies too. Do you want to eat too? I don't think he wants to eat me, do you? Well, it tastes fine. Today Lord Red Yaksha asked me to patrol this stretch of river from his and me. How dare you, Vixen, appear in Chunhui Prefecture without fear of being reversed? How dare you, a fox, appear in Chunhui Prefecture without fear of being caught by the night watch? Thaya, I have this, so I'm not afraid. Danza Yune. I just thought you have special fathers that are hard to recognize. That's the thing. Well, you may be able to stay here, but that big fish can't stay on this stretch of river. What are you talking about? Don't touch the big fish or I, Hyan, will ask Mr. Tsu to deal with you. Mr. Tsu, It turns out, you bloody fox, you. Why is he angry all of a sudden? Did Mr. Tsu insult him? Mr. Tsu, did you get me into trouble? Mr. Tortoise, I'm just a little fox. Mr. Tsu contacted you, so I had nothing to do with it. You fox, why are you so lucky in this life? What does he mean? The problem isn't Mr. Tsu, it's me. Let me ask you, how many years has it been since the day your spiritual consciousness became clear and you were no longer clouded? It's been about 15 years since I stopped being muddled. 15 years. 15 years. Only 15 years. Although his auras and demonic energy are small, and his magic power is not visible, he has refined his bones in a short time, worthy of someone who was shown the way by an immortal. Fox, guess how long it took me before I could speak? You've been this old for what, perhaps decades? Thank you so much for having such a high opinion of me. It took me 230 years back then, so it's no comparison to your natural talent. It's such a long time. Lushanjun isn't even 200 years old now. You were given the name Hyan after the Immortal showed you the way. It really suits you, that name. Perhaps in the future, you'll get a lot of advantages you don't even know about. However, you, Lysa, knowing the opportunity you've been given, still dare to run away. You don't know how many demons have cultivated for 100 years, and yet you gave your life without even receiving a piece of the Immortal's guidance. Is that true? Could you imagine me? No. Can you tell this old turtle how you met Mr. Zai again? Recently, I was descending a mountain near Ninian County when I happened to meet Mr. Zai returning. I then hurried back up the mountain to tell about this true wonder of the world. And I found him. He was in the mountain where I was, and I found him. Then I hurried back to the mountain to tell of this true miracle of light, whereupon Mr. Tsu appeared and tells me about the teaching of the Tao. And then what? What did Mr. Tsu tell you? Well, a lot of things were said. I think I remember what was said about freedom. What about the content? What is it? Please tell me more about it, just a few words. Well, it was so many words and so long that I've forgotten everything. Bloody woods. How did he even live to this day if he repeatedly misses the blessing of the heavens? What Zifsan said that day was really something special, but I remembered almost nothing. Don't feel bad. Why don't I ask Mr. Ziv next time and come and tell you? The teachings can't be conveyed that easily, and everything can be done once without repetition. All right, for me and my level isn't that bad. If you really told me the Tao that Zai-san taught you, it would be a big taboo for me to steal teachings from your teacher. Hey, you, Mr. Zhu, you, when did you come? The old turtle Uchen. It's a pleasure to meet Mr. Zai. The water energy has become much richer than it was back then, and the 3-gram pattern on the turtle's back is starting to show. Mr. Zai, you can see how complicated this turtle is with her practice, can't you? It's true that the practice is difficult, but your obsession over the years gets deeper and deeper, and you waste hundreds of years wasting hundreds of years failing at every attempt you make. The power of the Tao deepens, but the practice is stagnant. It is less profound, but it is still full of flaws, clouding the spirit and spoiling the mind. How do you deal with the purification technique given to you by the river gods? To answer Zai-san's question, I have diligently practiced the tactics, the refining technique, but other than the occasional burning sensation in my bones, nothing else. You've sort of helped many mortals over the years, and it seems like you want them to help you when they get rich. So why did you find yourself in this state? I suppose the stale aura in your body had nothing to do with it, did it? It's easy to tell fortunes, but it's hard to understand people's hearts. The desires in some people's hearts are vast and unlimited. The old turtle is unlucky, and I often rely on the wrong people. Every time it seems to be a lucky decision, but as time goes by, more and more bad karma appears afterward. I've currently given up on this venture. Well, whenever the Huiyuan Academy is closed, a disciple called Yin will come here to study. If it doesn't bother you that this disciple is young and uneducated, why don't you join us? My chance has come. Thank you, Mr. Z, for showing me the way. I also don't need excessive pay, so there's no need to swim through boiling water and tread on fire. Over the years, pick up a few stories of people you've helped, and tell them to me sometime. Yes, big fish, even though you don't have much cultivation, I've taken a liking to you. I don't think you have a name yet, so why don't I give you one? You'll be a lobbyist's son. I'm so stupid, why did I even give myself a name? This the chance to get a name from an immortal. Yin Sun, today is August 20th, the day of rest. Yes, it's almost time for the fall gathering, and there are many famous Ziju scholars in the surrounding Tiagyunya area who will be participating. Well, that's tempting, but I have some business today, so I won't be able to go. Hey, what kind of business? Do you need some help? No, it's just a little thing. You guys can go. Huh? Okay. Good morning, Mr. Z, you're here. Have a seat. Start reading everything out loud. Read it all. Yes, start reading. Start reading everything out loud. Read anything you find interesting. A scholar must be polite, know his manners, understand manners, and know all righteousness. But what is politeness and what is righteousness and what is open-mindedness is not very clear. This disciple, who has an extraordinarily clear aura, feels his heart, his spirituality is pure, and his destiny is profound. Well, that's it for today. The city gates will be closed in half an hour. Scientist Lobotson, you and little Yinking bow to each other. Oh, such a big turtle. An old turtle, Uchen. Thank you for your teaching, Mr. Yin. I'm Yinking, a student of Huiyuan Academy. So, Mr. Z, I'm going back. You and Huiyuan are leaving. Water transportation is well developed in Chunhui. Letters can reach Ningyan County in a few days. Write more letters, then you will have time. Wuchun, last time I asked you to prepare stories. Tell me about the people you've met whose deeds have touched you. I've already read the legends of the way of the outside world, but it is certainly more interesting to hear the stories of people who have experienced it. As you wish, sir. It seems it was almost 170 or 180 years ago. Back then, Dijin had only existed for 30 years. There was a scholar named Xiao Jing who came to visit Chunhui Palace and was considered to be very successful. One day on a pleasure boat, a drunken man forcefully decided to molest one singing. The other man got angry with him, but the drunkard threw him off the ship. This old turtle thought he was a decent man. I wanted to make good connections and point out a business opportunity. But after the scholar's family got a little richer, he still wanted to be an official more than anything. And he wanted to be a big official. A great desire in promotion is fine. But it's not that simple, and although he had some talent, it wasn't enough. Then I bluntly told him that if he refused to study hard, there was no way he could make an official career, especially with the help of demonic and star powers. After that, Xiao Jing never came to see me again. By the time I learned more about him, he had somehow reached the position of Imperial Chancellor in just 6 or 7 years. It was the 32nd year of the founding of the Yuan dynasty, and the empire, the emperor, the founder of Dijin was already at the end of his life. It was time to pass on the throne, except that the prince's prestige was still low. While most of the old ministers of the dynasty were still alive and well, this old turtle had failed, because of the little help I gave. And when blood stained the imperial court, bad karma followed. The imperial chancellor oversaw the court and could declare impeachment on all officials. Needless to say, he played a role in executing deserving officials. The bad karma that came afterward was enough for the old turtle. This incident made me shiver with fear. And for years I hid in a cave somewhere on the Chunmu River, afraid that one mistake would lead to disaster. Rainy days. Even if there was no thunder, I didn't make unnecessary movements, not even practicing thickly. Then I felt the onslaught of bad karma peaking and finally beginning to subside. And I realized that the tragedy was coming to an end. It happened that a new emperor came to the throne, and immediately in a swoop, he brought order, investigated the traitors, and returned belated justice to several loyal and good people. It's true that you're very lucky, but the opportunity is still there. Things are not so bad as to cut your path short. Don't use your magical abilities to do something bad in the future. Just be peaceful. Mr. Zip is right. Speaking of which, the other day you asked Hyan about the Freedom Court. Do you want to hear it? Of course I want to hear it. That old turtle wants to hear it. Please, sir, enlighten me, please. There's a fish in the north named Kun. Kun is so big, I don't even know how many thousands of rains. And when it turns into a bird, it is called Pen. It had no natural enemies and no problems, so it lived a carefree life. This thought manifestation remedy isn't bad. At least from a preaching perspective, it's really profound. You've been too obsessed for a long time, so this piece on freedom is quite appropriate for you. Come listen to the book with Bissen more often when you have time. Thank you so much for the guidance. Thank you for transmitting the Tao. Thank you, sir, for your enlightenment and for transmitting your teachings. At last, the day has finally come when fortune smiled upon me. Kai Manual. The name of books in the cultivation world is so simple that regardless of the difference in content, the book is called Kai Manual. But if you really think about it, this book should be called Heaven and Earth Transformation Method, which is the point. The existence of the conception of heaven and earth in me also gives new meaning to this transformation method. I wonder if I can extract the 3 kinds of true fire from the Dan furnace. This power is so unfathomable. Golden Bridge to Dan. The Golden Bridge is the only connection between the Dan furnace and also the key point for transforming Danza into magic. I will actually be able to obtain some of the true fire. And with the help of the Golden Bridge to Dan furnace, these 3 kinds of true fire can directly come to me. It's not like I'm going to burn myself to death. I drank a lot of old dragon wine, so I should be able to hold my fire and not die a horrible death. But it's still worth refining the technique first. To utilize Samadhi fire by simply reversing the transformation of heaven and earth, it's clearly not enough. If this can be combined with an exceptional fire control art to form a special fire control method, 5 days later, attracting true fire for manifestation. True fire moves to the head, reach the mouth, exploring the heavenly source, the upper vessel of Zai, the center of human Dan. Amazing. Really worthy of being true fire. Mr. Dan, I can't say I can't be true fire. Is Mr. Z in? Mr. Z, here are your letters. They all came just 2 days ago and are addressed to you. Thank you very much. A letter from Du Heng, the one-armed swordsman. When Heng was wandering along the banks of the Osani and Wadzenju, he heard from the villagers that an evil woman liked to tear out hearts and eat them. Both counties were in a state of panic and officials had no way to catch them. Heng, who is a self-proclaimed martial arts master, has been scouting the area day and night with his friends, gaining strength and waiting. This demonic woman is evil. Heng and his friends fought hard all night, and 13 people were killed and wounded before they finally cut off her head. He thought the case was very strange and unusual, so he sent a letter to the Lord. Do the gods there not care about such things? Or is it just some evil master practicing some evil art that does evil things? Give me a date. Yuet's Munichao, Shui Shadow. I swear, she's clearly had her head chopped off, but she's still alive and doing whatever she wants again. No one will believe it. The most disgusting thing is poison. As soon as we run out of medicine, there's more and more deaths. The plague. Broddock, do you think we can escape? Of course it's possible. We've written so many letters, help is sure to come. But it's the weather, heavy snow covers the roads, the letters may be undeliverable. That won't happen. I received word that one of my elders had returned home from his travels. I wrote to him before winter came. As long as he can get a letter, there are on the roof. There are 7 of them. Sir, the hot water has been brought. Open the door, we'll bring it in for you. Demon woman, everyone be careful, it's the real killer. Everybody be careful, spread out, light the torches. The ghost children are here, the blood of the black dog, hurry up. Black dog's blood works, torches, burn him. Burn, your bones will be burned to ashes. Now let's see you come back to life. My boy, demonic woman, will you soon follow him? I underestimated you, warrior. Now I'm even more eager to eat your hero Du's heart. What the hell? Not dead. Warriors, you've already ruined my practice 3 times by trying to protect the peaceful people. Since it's over, it's no big deal for me to start over. But tonight, everyone in that shui will be dead. Oh, that's a strong statement. Mr. Zhu, who are you? Not a man, not a ghost, not a demon, not a devil. The ghostly mother of 9 sons. Well, it would seem so. Who taught you this evil technique? Dying by my noble wife is not my choice. To die by my true flame is an honor. Fly, follow her. Master, help me, master. Don't rush, don't rush. Where are the other devils? Were they captured by a city god or some earth spirit? I told you to be careful to avoid the attention of the gods and spirits. But don't worry, this is no longer the border to Jenny. Master, the one who attacked was neither spirit nor god, as you say, but a man in light-colored clothing. A man? Did he use some kind of spell with a jade pendant? No, I made my children throw themselves at that man, but he gave off a club of smoke somehow, burning all my children to ashes. Master, you must avenge me. Master, what's wrong with you? Gave off smoke. Just a strange puff of gray smoke. Did you feel anything wrong when you came back? Like a panic attack that won't let go. No trace of dirt, but no trace of magic. The guest's skill has reached a level beyond my comprehension. If such a creature really wanted to kill her, there was no way she'd be allowed to escape. A real problem. What is the purpose of your visit to my humble abode in the dead of winter? In search of this ghostly mother. A teacher. What teacher? A few years ago, I killed an evil cultivator and took the book of evil techniques from him. I never thought this woman would steal it from me while I was chopping wood in the mountains. Today, she came to me for help and wanted to become my disciple. So I realized that her practice of the evil method must have been the cause of her problems. Fortunately, this woman is still at a low level of practicing evil and has just gotten pregnant. You're saying she's still at a low level of practice? I don't think so. That woman spawned 7 demons, each of which was going to kill the entire neighborhood. That's why she had to receive instruction from an eminent teacher. What? How dare she spawn 7 demons already? How dare she threaten to kill all the people in the neighborhood? How dare you? You've done so much evil you can't live in this world. I don't know how dare you, immortal sword, daring to settle here, to conduct your filthy teachings, trying to turn things in your favor. But you can't fool my eyes. Run, use all your strength and see if you can save your life. You know you can't. I don't know how you dare. I don't know how you dare. Run, use all your strength and see if you can save your life. Escape. Gazan. Capture. Is he still alive? Then it's a fake body. However, he can't escape so easily. Mountain God, save me, save me, save me, save me, save me, save me. The stone of the mountain God. Mountain God, save me. Why doesn't he come? I don't have a second spare amulet. My life is over. I am the mountain god. The Inshu is burning. Who dares? What creature did you provoke? Mountain god, no matter what, you must save my life. Mountain god, no matter what, you must save my life this time. Immortal, I am a god, burn Yinshu. That man below is an old friend of mine. Could you? I can only ask. What old ties do you have with this evil and deceitful person? This evil cultivator has a lot of bad karma, so I can't let him get away with it today. The sword hovered in the air as if the heavens themselves were about to collapse. This is a sword of execution. I didn't expect that with just a rash act, I could realize a whole new level of power usage. You're a mountain god, so I'm sure you're not a close friend of that evil man. If you made any promise to him, the fact that you just reflected the power of the heavenly sword without backing down even a single step would be a worthy action for that promise. Will the mountain god continue to stand in defense of this evil cultivator who is unworthy of your death? A mountain god wouldn't watch his friend being killed, right? Mountain god, you promised. If it wasn't for me, you would have died from that first blow, and I wouldn't be at the tip of that sword right now. Haven't I helped you enough already? I've already done my best, but do you want me to die for you? I am Hong Shen King, the god of Tengqiu Mountain, and I apologize for offending you. I will leave now. Hong Shen King, Hong Shen King. You can't leave. You don't. I have severed most of your mind and spirit, leaving only a remnant to maintain immortality. Your karma will be revealed when you go to the city temple. This is the obvious true harmony with the mountains. The mountain god Tengqiu is not so simple. Escaped. I guess after seeing the power of the heavenly sword, no one would dare to come near here. Since the rumors about Tengqiu Pavilion have spread, there are bound to be many beings who are worried about the situation with Dejane, such as that evil old man. There might be a few, so now is the time to scare them away. To avoid more trouble, it's better to deal with that evil cultivator first. I'd like to talk to the mountain god again. Dead silence. I would like to invite Hong Xingtai to the mountain god Tengqiu. The technique of capturing gods and spirits. If you had revealed your technique earlier, I wouldn't have been so worried. Hong Xingting greeted Immortal Master. I had no choice but to ask you to come here since I couldn't call out just like that. Does the mountain god know about Tian Kai's rumors? Of course it was known how the Immortal came here because of this man, because of rumors. That's not entirely true. After all, Dejane is the peaceful path of the century, and even if there are evil cultivators looking for that nebulous opportunity, they will still follow the heavenly laws. Carelessly using an evil method like his can only lead to disaster. Didn't you catch up with him? This person might not have known about the rumors of Tianzai Pavilion, I'm afraid that he was used as a pawn to test how evil magic works. To be honest, I've known him for decades, and he's helped me a lot. And when he came again, instead of studying amasms, he started practicing evil magic, which is really a bit strange. I wonder why the Immortal summoned me. Did you have something to tell me? Indeed, I have a favor to ask. The rumors about the Tianzai Pavilion seem to still be unclear, and there are many people who are thinking about it, so it's fine if they just want to take a look at it. But when it becomes like mouse droppings underfoot, it's already unpleasant. The mountain is located in the northern part of Dajin and is one of the state borders with Tinlangian to the north. It would be nice if the mountain god took the time to notice and even warn some who are not on the right path. I will pay extra attention to this, even if I have to sleep less, as it is entrusted to me by the Immortal. Thank you. Who are these people and what is the reason for their interference in the underworld realm? The wooden lore of the so-called. They testify to something that's knitted out of Tigongbit Polk, which you can't book. It's a wooden plaque of the city god of Chenghui Prefecture. Inform him of Huan's visit.